Shalom Aleichem, everyone. Erev Tov, good evening. We find ourselves at the culmination of Rosh Chodesh Kislev, the beginning of the month of Kislev, which represents the month of light, obviously with the holiday of Hanukkah at the end of the month of redemption, Geula, because we have the redemption, the Geula of the two Rebbeim, the Alter Rebbe, Rav Shneir Zalman of Liadi on the 19th of Kislev, and the liberation of his son, Rav Dov Ber of Lubavitch on the 10th of Kislev. And so we see we have many reasons to celebrate, but the major reason which is closest to us is today. Was today. This is Rosh Chodesh Kislev, because we know that in the year Tafshin Lamed Ches, 5778, the Simchas Torah, there was a unfortunate happening, and the Rebbe, because due to on the revealed basis, due to his health, he from that time on he closed himself in his room. The entire room became an exclusive medical center. Okay, one of the best in the United States for cardiac treatment, and this is where the Rebbe was, together with the top doctors of those times, and the Rebbe was being treated. Even while he was being treated, so the Rebbe spoke. Motzei Shabbos, there were hookups. The Rebbe even gave over Maimorim, Hasidic discourses. But the Rebbe was upon his choice, he closed himself in his room, which we said before became the one of the greatest cardiac medical centers in the United States, or in the world even. It was on Rosh Chodesh Kislev that the Rebbe chose to go out of his office, and in full health, as everyone experienced, everyone witnessed. And the Rebbe on that day went out of the office and also went home to his own abode. And therefore, when we come to Rosh Chodesh Kislev, this is one of the reasons that one of the major reasons that we celebrate the beginning of the month of Kislev, and it represents the concept of revelation. Because just as the Rebbe was concealed from the eyes of the Hasidim until Rosh Chodesh Kislev, from Simchas Torah, so also we look forward to the fact that the Rebbe Shlita Melech Ha'Moshiach should be revealed on a good and revealed basis, and Teichef u'miyad mamish, immediately now, with the Geula Hashlema V'Amitis, with the true and the complete Geula. The Simcha of Rosh Chodesh Kislev, the beginning of the month of Kislev, became so great and so exclusive that there was even a nigun, there was even a tune that was composed in honor of the day. And this is something that we'll share together. Everyone is invited to sing together with me, with the music of the guitar.
Igros Kodesh, Igros Kodesh.
Hey,
Igros Kodesh.
Getting to our story this week, one of the most incredible stories that begins very we would say it begins dark, but then it becomes illuminated with the greatest of joy and light. So this story goes back in time. There was a family called Greenberg, Orit and Aryeh Greenberg, and Orit was on her way to a Farbrengen before she goes out of the door. So she says to her husband, "Just make sure if there's anything that is needed. So give me a call on my mobile." And she goes out to the Farbrengen, to the Hasidic gathering for women. A little background to the story: we're talking about a family that Baruch Hashem was married for 12 years. During the first 12 years of their marriage, so they merited to have not one or two, but 4 children, Kenai Nahara. And all the children were born in a good and auspicious time. But from that time on, many years passed, and they tried to have more children, but they were not successful in receiving the blessing of children. Actually, there were 2 unfortunate happenings of miscarriages, but for the meantime, they didn't receive any additional children. And with this being said, we get back to the Farbrengen. When she gets to the Farbrengen, Orit is sitting there. All the speakers at the Hasidic gathering are speaking. She really doesn't pay attention, because all that is going through her mind is the situation at home in regard to the fact that they still did not merit to have another child. By the way, at the same time, and this was only found out later on, Aryeh, Orit's husband, was back home. The children were asleep. He was sitting on the couch, and he was also in like a dream in regard to the exact same topic. The fact that they were not successful to have additional children all these years. Anyway, in the middle of the Farbrengen, there was a public auction, and they were auctioning away very valuable Judaic articles. Amongst the articles was a kerchief, a head covering, which was made with a piece of material that the Rebbetzin Chaim Mushka actually wore. One second. Yeah, and obviously being made, this head covering being made with a piece of material from the Rebbetzins garments. So everyone was very excited, and the numbers started on the auction started to be called out, and the numbers were going very high. Everything is relative, and when we're talking about high, and everyone was listening with very attentively. Orit was also listening attentively until all of a sudden she snapped to it, and she decided, wait a second, this will be the vessel in order for me to merit the child that I've been waiting for so long. And so all of a sudden she raises her hand and she gets into the calling out of the high numbers that are going on in the auction, and the numbers are continuing to be called until the auction came to of this item came to its end, and Orit, without even realizing, was the one that actually received the ownership of this head covering. The ownership of the head covering. The woman that was running the auction started to go into overwhelming blessings, giving to Orit. And amongst the blessings, she says, and this year you should be able to have the blessing of holding and hugging a baby boy. Wow, Orit was going out of her mind with happiness, with joy. When she got back to her place, she remembered that she didn't even call and speak to her husband about the whole auction. And she calls up her husband, and her husband says, "Hello, is everything okay?" So she says, "Yes," and not only that, but we won in the auction for the head covering that was made from the material of a garment from Rebbe Shlita Melech Ha'Moshiach, the Rebbe Shlita Melech Ha'Moshiach's wife, and it cost us 9,000 shekel. The husband said, "What?" And they said it was lucky that he was sitting on the couch, because otherwise in these kind of situations we know that people can suddenly come take to the floor. But he said, well, okay. And she said all the blessings that she received, and together with the blessing of receiving a baby boy this year, and he was like coming out of his situation of what happened. And then she says, well, do you think that we can like do it with installments, like maybe 10 installments? So at this point, Aryeh, Orit's husband, tells her exactly how to go and to stretch out the installments in order to be so that the payments won't bounce. They'll go through in the bank, and then they finish the conversation. The farbringen comes to its culmination. Orit goes home. Orit is home, and she's it's needless to say what type of euphoria she's in. She's like in the seventh heaven. Wow, this year, in another 9 months, I'm going to have a baby boy. Wow. Not 9, but 10 months pass. And there's no sign of any pregnancy. No child. And obviously, Orit, with all her positive energy, feels a little down, to say the least. Aryeh, her husband, also has the same. She shares the same feeling, and they come to the conclusion that in this type of situation, after they already went and they did everything that they can to make a vessel for the miracle, they have to write the Rebbe a letter in the Igros Kodesh and the Rebbe's holy letters, in order to go and to receive some type of an additional encouragement due to the fact that the miracle has not come to fruition yet. They write the Rebbe, and they tell the Rebbe about everything that was going on till now, and they received an incredible reply from the Rebbe in Kerech Yud, in volume 10 of the Rebbe's Igros Kodesh. I want to read it out. It's short. I want to read out the reply, and we'll see how it was just so coordinated with what they were asking for. The Rebbe writes as follows: Be'ez Rotzen, in an auspicious time, Masim lehabakosha, in coordinates with the request that you have put forth, as kirei alatzion hakodesh shel kvar kedushas Mori v'chami admor haRebbe Rayatz. I will mention him at the resting place of my father-in-law, the holy Rabbi Rabbi Yosef Yitzchok Schneerson, ben kuda hatichoina ve'apnimis, in regard to the central and the innermost point that you write, leha'amid talmidim re'uyim lishmam, to go and to raise students that are worthy of their name, Temmimim. Temmimim are the students that learn in the Lubavitch Chabad Yeshiva, Tomchei-Temmimim. And they definitely, with no doubt, they took this to heart, that the Rebbe is coming and giving them not only the encouragement to keep on trusting and believing in Hashem and believing in the blessing, but the empowerment that it's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. And so with this, a short time afterwards, Orit became pregnant, and then she went to the doctors. The doctors were not optimistic because of the background of the two miscarriages, Allah Aleinu, that she went through previously. But they kept on trying to see what they can do and what Orit can do, and they escorted the pregnancy, but with skepticism, with skepticism, until finally the pregnancy came to a point where Orit decided, despite all the skepticism and the pessimism of the doctors, she's going to strengthen herself with the trust and the belief in Hashem, and with God's help, with the Rebbe's blessing, everything is going to go, definitely everything is going to go 100% okay. On the 18th of Mar Cheshvan, the 18th of the Hebrew month of Mar Cheshvan, which is actually 2 days before the birthday of the Rebbe Rashab, Rav Shalom Dovber of Lubavitch, who is the founder of the Chabad Yeshiva Tomchei-Temmimim. Okay, the baby was born in a good and auspicious time, b'sha tova u'mutzlachat, and the baby was named Shalom Dovber, the name of the Rebbe Rashab, who founded the Tomchei-Temmimim Yeshiva. And as the Rebbe said, that the child will be worthy of his name Tomim, obviously through the fact that he will be named after the Rebbe Rashab, who founded the Yeshiva Tomchei-Temmimim. As we see and as we know, these blessings are not just one-time happenings, one-time occurrences, but these are factors and happenings that are happening and occurring every day. In every hour of the day, people are writing to the Rebbe, and people are asking the Rebbe's blessing and advice in all faculties of life, matters of family matters, health matters, financing and livelihood. And Baruch Hashem, the Rebbe acts as our Moshe Rabbeinu of our generation, the Moshiach of the generation, and with this we have just to ask and to demand from Hakadosh Baruch Hu, from the Holy One, blessed be He, that we should have the revelation of the Rebbe Shlita Melech Ha'Moshiach on a good and revealed basis, with happiness and joy of the heart, and and it should all be with the tranquility of the mind and the feelings of every single Jew and every single human being in the world, And the main thing is it should be Teichef umiyad, mamish, 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 immediately now. Yichi Adonenu, Morenu, V'Rabbeinu, Melech Ha'Moshiach, Le'elam Voed. A good Chodesh and a good Yontif. B'Seres Teves Mashiach now. Amen ve'amen.